In this lesson, we are going to be solving equations that can be reduced to a quadratic. So we're going to start solving it by a different method, and then we're going to end up using more of the methods that we have learned. Things that you will see in this video are like factoring. We might need to factor, okay? We might need to use the square root property, okay? Property, we might need to find the least common denominator, so finding LCD. Ooh, that's a good concept. LCD, in order to solve, we might need to do some fractions denominators, so we're going to need to work with fractions. Okay, so we're going to be doing a lot. Let's see. So we are given a quadratic equation in standard form. Now the only difference is the exponent is higher than 2. So let's see if we are able to factor this. Okay, so I suggest factor using the AC method. That's my suggestion. Let's try that. That means I am going to say 4 times 2 is A. Factors of A that will subtract to 7. That's 1 and 8. So I'm going to rewrite this polynomial of 3 terms as a polynomial of 4 terms. Plus 8x minus 1x minus 2 equals 0. Bring the first sign down. Positive times negative is a negative. Split in the middle. What they have in common is 4x. I'm sorry, I meant to put 2 here, 2 here. My bad there. What they have in common is a 2x. Here, what they have in common is just negative 1. So then it's 4x squared, parentheses. We're still going to have an x squared plus a 2. Here, we're going to bring the negative down, and I'm going to have x squared plus a 2 equals 0. So then notice this is the same. That means we're doing it right. So we're going to bring it down. And we're left with this right here. 4x squared minus 1 equals 0. Okay, we are solving for x. That is our ultimate goal. Therefore, we're going to set up each set of parentheses equal to 0. And we're going to try to solve. And this is where we're going to use the square root to solve. Okay, so I'm going to minus a 2. This way with x squared equals negative 2. Then I'm going to square both sides. X equals plus or minus the square root of negative 2. In here, I'm going to add the 1. So 4x squared equals 1. Divide by 4 on both sides. X squared equals 1/4. Take the square root of both. X equals plus or minus. Square root of 1 is 1. Square root of 4 is 2. So x equals plus or minus 1/2. Now, with this problem here, let's put the yellow. I am here, highlighted this area. Remember, this is a negative inside the radical, which means I can take an imaginary number. So which I can take an I. So I can rewrite this as plus or minus I square root of 2. Okay? Keep that in mind. So our answers are, for this problem, x equals, I like the radical. Let's keep the radical. X equals 2, square root of 2. X equals negative square root of 2. Both negative. Positive and negative right here. Negative and negative. And then x equals 1/2 and negative 1/2. Okay, those are all my answers. Because remember, they're plus and minus. Now let's go back to the problem again. So I start with a quadratic. I notice that the highest exponent is 4. I said, let's try factoring using the AC method. We did that. Factors of A that will subtract to 7 is 1 and A. Therefore, I'm going to replace the 1 and the A for the middle term. So I'm going to bring down the positive. So that's going to be 8x squared minus 1x squared. And then minus 2 equals 0. What does the first two terms have in common? They're both divisible by 4x squared. So I bring that down. What I have left is x squared plus 2. On the right side, they're both divisible by -1. So I bring that down. And then once I divide both terms by -1, I'm left with x squared plus 2, which is this. I notice that the x squared plus 2 are both the same, therefore I bring it down. And then what I have left is 4x squared minus 1. And they're both set equal to 0. So then I solve using square root. Okay. Once I solve, I realize I can simplify this a little bit more using the imaginary numbers because of the negative. So I could do that. And then altogether, my final answers are square root of -2, positive, negative square root of -2, and 1/2 and -1/2. Again, I can rewrite this as I square root of 2, negative I square root of 2, 1/2, -1/2. And those are the 4 answers. And you have 4 answers because the highest exponent, again, is 4. Let's see another example. Here, we have another equation, and we have fractions. And this is a rational equation because of the fractions. So my suggestion to you is let's start by first adding a 1 here. Now I have all of them fractions. Then I need to find the LCD. So the LCD, it's everything you see in the denominator. So that's y plus 2, y minus 1. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite my problem. 3y over y plus 2 minus 2, y minus 1 equals 1 over 1. I need to multiply each top and bottom by what is missing to be the LCD. So the first fraction, it's y plus 2 in the denominator, so it's missing the y minus 1. So I'm going to multiply top and bottom by that. The second fraction is missing the y plus 2. So I'm going to do that as well. And the last fraction is missing everything, so I'm going to multiply top and bottom by everything. Okay. Now that all the denominators are the same, essentially the denominators will be the same if you notice that. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel them. I can do this only because I am dealing with an equation. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite my problem. So I have 3y times y minus 1 minus 2 times y plus 2 equals y plus 2 times y minus 1. After here, I need to distribute. I need to distribute here as well. Right? Troop. And then here I need to FOIL. Or a double distribute if you want to call it that. So then let's go to the next page. Next. Okay, so that was, I already forgot. That is 3y times y minus 1. Bear with me, please. 3y times y minus 1. Negative 2 times y plus 2. And then I think this is y plus 2 times y minus 1. Okay, so let's go ahead and distribute. This leaves me with 3y squared minus 3y minus 2y minus 4 equals y times y squared minus y plus 2y minus 2. Now we need to combine like terms. So on the left side, I do not have a like term with a square, so I'm just going to bring it down. Negative 3y minus 2y gives me negative 5y minus 4. On the right side, again, I only have the y squared. And then negative 1y plus 2y gives you 1y minus 2. Now I am going to set it equal to 0. Set it equal to 0. Okay, so I'm going to start by subtracting the y squared. I'm going to subtract the 1y, I'm going to add the 2. Okay, this and this are going to cancel. 0. So then I have 3y squared minus 1y gives me 2y squared. Negative 5y minus 1y gives me 6y. And negative 4 plus 2 gives me negative, negative 2. Now, I am going to use which of the methods? Let's figure it out. It's not factorable. Completing the square seems like not. We're going to use the quadratic formula. To solve this. Okay, so I have 2y squared minus 6y minus 2 equals to 0. A is 2, B is negative 6, and C is negative 2. Again, my formula is negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Oops, that a. You can see that I'm a bit tired because of my hand. Well, I can't say my handwriting gets worse because I have horrible handwriting. If you can understand my work, I am happy. And, you know, bear with my horrible handwriting, which one day I will make the time to take a penmanship class and write beautiful. You know? Okay, now we're going to go ahead and simplify, right? 6 plus or minus 36. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. Times negative 2 is positive 16. Over 4. Continue to write big. Equals. So now what is 36 plus 16? Why not always double check my penmanship? That gives you 52. Okay, over 4. Now we're going to have to simplify this guy. So let's go ahead and add another page. 6 plus square root of 52 over 4. 52 is not a perfect square. So we need to break it into, let's say 2 times 26, 2 times 13. So we're going to break it into square root of 4 times square root of 13. Square root of 4 is 2. 13 stays inside. So let's go ahead and rewrite that. Okay, plus and minus, don't forget that. Yeah, 4. So we're going to break it into 6 plus 2 square root of 13 over 4. And 6 plus 2 square root of 13 over 4. Here, everything simplifies by 2. So we can do 3 plus square root of 13 over 2. I use plus in both. Come on, you should have told me that. But you can talk to me. But if I make a mistake, you tell me in the comment section. Right there. And this is going to be 3 minus square root of 13 over 2. And there you go. Our 2 very long answers for this beautiful quadratic equation. This one is a long one.